Sanders, people don't just notice, they start talking. A lot. This isn't your standard "rookies doing well" compliment. This is a full-on cosign from a respected player who's been around elite quarterbacks before. A player who knows exactly what separates hype from reality. And according to Jeudy, the reality is that Shedeur Sanders is the real deal. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. Jeudy didn't mince words. He talked about Shedeur's growth since arriving in the league, how the confidence is visible, how the throws are sharper, how the command of the offense is miles ahead of where most rookies are at this stage. He pointed out the poise, the way Shedeur doesn't flinch in pressure moments, and how even in practice, he's out there making reads like a veteran. He's getting better every day, Jeudy said. You can tell he's been putting in the work, learning the playbook, building chemistry with the guys. When he steps into the huddle now, there's no hesitation. He's in control. That's a big statement, because control is something rookies often lack. They may have arm talent, athleticism, and flashes of brilliance, but commanding an NFL huddle, that takes respect. And respect isn't handed out, it's earned. What makes Jeudy's praise even more impactful is that it comes after watching Shedeur through every stage: OTAs, minicamp, training camp, and now preseason. The improvement hasn't been a fluke or a hot streak. It's been steady, deliberate growth. You can see it in the timing of his throws, the touch on his deep balls, and the confidence in his eyes when he's scanning the field. Jeudy highlighted Shedeur's arm strength and accuracy, but also made a point to emphasize something more important: decision-making. It's not just that he can make the throw, Jeudy said. It's that he knows when to make it. He's patient. He doesn't force it, but when he sees his window, he delivers. That kind of praise matters, because veterans can smell a pretender a mile away. You can't fake timing with receivers. You can't fake anticipation against NFL defenses. If Jeudy's impressed, it's because Shedeur is doing the hard stuff right. And it's not just Jeudy noticing. Analysts like Stephen A. Smith, Dan Orlovsky, and Adam Schefter have been lining up to back the rookie. Stephen A. called him a future starter whose time is coming sooner than later. Orlovsky broke down tape, showing Shedeur reading blitz packages like a second-year pro. Schefter pointed out the building buzz and how quickly Shedeur is becoming a name that carries weight in NFL circles. Behind the scenes, teammates are seeing the same thing. Shedeur isn't just showing up to meetings and going through the motions. He's engaged, asking questions, taking notes, and pulling guys aside to talk through routes or protections. That kind of work ethic doesn't just help him. It builds trust across a roster. And you can see that trust starting to pay off. Myles Garrett, who isn't exactly in the business of handing out compliments lightly, has reportedly been impressed with Shedeur's toughness and composure, even when going against Cleveland's aggressive defense in practice. For a rookie QB to earn nods from both sides of the ball, that's rare. The chemistry factor is also huge. Jerry Jeudy made it clear that Shedeur is already fitting into the locker room in a way that's natural, not forced. He's relatable, but he's also respected. He knows when to joke around and when to lock in. That balance is what allows a young quarterback to lead without it feeling like he's overstepping. And leadership isn't just about talking in the huddle. It's about the moments in between plays, helping a receiver reset after a drop, keeping linemen engaged when the drive stalls, making eye contact after a big completion to let your guy know you trust him. According to Jeudy, Shedeur is already doing those things instinctively. If you've been following Shedeur's journey, this moment feels inevitable. He's been carrying expectations since his days at Jackson State and Colorado, following in the footsteps of his legendary father, Deion Sanders. But rather than be weighed down by the prime-time legacy, Shedeur has carved out his own identity, calm, methodical, and laser-focused on execution. That's part of what has analysts buzzing. Orlovsky pointed out that Shedeur's style isn't about highlight reel chaos. It's about efficient, mistake-free football. He's not chasing the big play, Orlovsky said. He's building drives, moving the chains, and putting his team in position to score. That's winning football. And that's the kind of football that gets you promoted from promising rookie to legitimate starter. Of course, Not everyone's ready to hand him the reins yet. There are still critics, those who think he needs more time, more seasoning, more reps against first-team defenses before he's truly ready. But the list of those critics is shrinking fast. That's why the haters in panic headline isn't just for show. Every time Shedeur puts together another solid practice, every time he walks off the field with a line of completions and no turnovers, it chips away at the arguments against him. When respected veterans like Jerry Jeudy go on record with their praise, it becomes harder and harder to dismiss the idea that Shedeur could be the guy sooner than expected. Jeudy's endorsement also flips a common rookie narrative. Usually, it's the quarterback praising his receivers, trying to build goodwill. In this case, it's a receiver, one of the most important on-field relationships a QB can have, publicly vouching for the QB's ability to lead and deliver. That speaks volumes. And then there's the pressure element. Preseason is one thing, but the NFL is an unforgiving stage. Most rookies tighten up under the weight of expectation. But according to Jeudy and others, Shedeur seems to thrive in those moments. When the play breaks down, his eyes stay downfield. When the pocket collapses, he moves with intent instead of panic. That calm is contagious. It spreads to the offensive line, the receivers, even the sideline. Stephen A. framed it perfectly. You can't teach poise. You either have it or you don't. Shedeur Sanders has it. It's not just the on-field demeanor. It's the way Shedeur is already thinking like a franchise player. He studies the playbook, like someone who knows his future depends on it. He works on mechanics until the footwork, release, and follow-through are muscle memory. He's constantly asking for feedback, not just from coaches, but from teammates who see the game from different perspectives. That's how you win over a locker room. And once the locker room is yours, the rest is just a matter of opportunity. The opportunity might be coming sooner than anyone thought. The preseason buzz is turning into preseason momentum. Fans are starting to talk less about if and more about when. Analysts are openly speculating about what the offense would look like with Shedeur in charge. And every time he takes the field, that speculation looks a little more justified. Jeudy summed it up in the simplest way possible. He's ready. That's all I'm going to say. He's ready. Coming from a player who's caught passes from some of the league's best, that's not something you take lightly. The next few weeks will be critical. More reps, tougher defenses, higher stakes. But if Shedeur keeps trending the way he has, it's going to get harder and harder for the Browns or any team to keep him off the field. For now, the haters can keep finding reasons to doubt. The people who've been in the huddle with Shedeur Sanders know better. And if Jerry Jeudy's word are any indication, the NFL is about to find out just how ready this rookie really is. The thing about Jerry Jeudy's praise for Shedeur Sanders is that it didn't come in passing. It wasn't one of those polite, "Yeah, he's doing good," answers players sometimes give to avoid saying too much. This was specific, deliberate, and said with conviction. You could tell Jeudy meant every word, and that matters. In the NFL, locker room dynamics are everything. When a player of Jeudy's caliber, with his experience and reputation, goes out of his way to publicly endorse a rookie quarterback, that endorsement carries weight, not just with fans and media, but inside the team facility. Because here's the reality. Veterans don't hand out compliments easily. They've seen hype rookies flame out before. They've caught passes from quarterbacks who looked the part in practice, but disappeared when it mattered. They know the difference between potential and performance. Jeudy is saying that Shedeur is both. In his comments, Jeudy emphasized how much more comfortable Shedeur looks now compared to when he first stepped on the field for a rookie minicamp. The hesitation that sometimes creeps into a rookie's dropbacks, gone. The overly cautious reads that delay a throw, those have been replaced by confident, in stride deliveries. He's just more in control now, Jeudy said. At first, you could tell he was still learning, getting the timing down, figuring out how fast the game moves at this level. Now, he's already adapting. He knows where to go with the ball, and he's putting it exactly where it needs to be. That's not just about arm talent. It's about processing speed. In the NFL, windows close fast. A rookie who can read a defense, adjust in real time, and deliver on target is a rookie who's ahead of schedule. Jeudy also talked about leadership, and that might be the most important part. You see it in the huddle. he said. When he talks, guys listen. Not because he's trying to be loud or over the top, but because he's confident. He's prepared. He knows what he's talking about. That's the kind of respect you can't fake. You don't walk into an NFL locker room and automatically have veterans defer to you. It's something you earn. And the fact that Shedeur is earning it this early says a lot about his approach. Part of that approach, according to teammates, is how much time Shedeur spends studying. He's not just memorizing plays. He's understanding why those plays are called in certain situations. That is a subtle but important distinction. A quarterback who knows the why can adapt when the defense shows something unexpected. Coaches have reportedly been impressed with how quickly he can recall plays in meetings, even breaking down what went wrong on a rep without having to watch the film first. That shows not just memory, but awareness. A quarterback who's mentally present for every snap. And it's not just mental. Jeudy pointed out that Shedeur has been working tirelessly on the technical side of his game, too. His footwork has tightened up, his release has gotten faster, and his deep ball is coming out with more consistency. These are the kinds of mechanical improvements that separate a promising rookie from one who's ready to compete for a starting job. The chemistry between Jeudy and Shedeur is also developing quickly in practice. The two have been seen staying after drills to work on timing routes, fine-tuning the nuances of their connection. That's the extra work that shows up in games, when the quarterback throws to spot before the receiver even turns his head, and the ball is there waiting. It's that kind of attention to detail that analysts like Dan Orlovsky have been pointing to when they talk about Shedeur's readiness. Orlovsky's breakdowns have focused on how well Shedeur anticipates throws, hitting receivers in stride instead of waiting for them to come open. That's an advanced skill for a rookie, and it's part of why the conversation around him is accelerating. Stephen A. Smith has taken praise even further, saying he believes Shedeur will be a starter much sooner than people think. Smith's argument is simple. If you got a young quarterback who's already showing poise, accuracy, and leadership, there's no reason to keep him on the sideline longer than necessary. Adam Schefter hasn't gone quite that far publicly, but he's acknowledged the buzz building inside NFL circles. Schefter has pointed out that word is spreading fast. Shedeur's name comes up in conversations not just about rookies, but about quarterbacks in general. That's not common for a player who hasn't even played a regular season snap yet. Of course, the haters are still out there. There are those who say it's just preseason, that Shedeur hasn't faced enough first-team defenses to justify the hype. Others point to his draft position, arguing that if he was truly ready, he wouldn't have lasted until the later rounds. But here's the thing. Every week that passes, those arguments get weaker. When a rookie is commanding the respect of veterans, producing in practice, and backing it up in preseason games, you can't hide behind "it's too soon forever." Eventually, the production forces a conversation. Jeudy's comments feel like a turning point in that conversation. This wasn't just media or analysts talking. It was a player who sees Shedeur up close every day. And when a teammate publicly says he's ready, it adds a layer of credibility that no outside voice can match. The ripple effect is real. Other teammates will start to echo the sentiment. Coaches will be asked about it more often in press conferences. Fans will start calling for it louder. And if Shedeur continues to deliver in the next preseason games, the pressure to give him a bigger role will become impossible to ignore. Inside the building, that momentum matters. Coaches may still control the depth chart, but they're not immune to the energy around a player. If the locker room believes in a guy, if the fans believe in a guy, if the performance backs it up, that's when opportunities open. For Shedeur, the focus doesn't change. The best thing he can do now is exactly what he's been doing, stacking good days, sharpening his command of the offense, and keeping that even-keeled demeanor no matter how loud the noise gets. And that's one of the most impressive parts of his young career so far. He hasn't let the hype or the doubters shake him. He's the same steady, prepared, competitive player, whether at a Thursday walkthrough or a live 2-minute drill. Jeudy's praise might be making the haters panic, but it's not making Shedeur complacent. If anything, it's just fueling the work. And that's why his rise feels less like a flash in the pan and more like the start of something real. The way things are trending,